Hey, this is Scott from Church Tech Talks, and today I wanted to talk about a way we're doing parallel bus compression with some unconventional routing on the M32 going into Waves Multirack. So we wanted to do this, and the one problem is it's difficult to get buses out of the M32 into your Multirack without really messing up a lot of your routing. So we did something that's kind of unconventional that I think is pretty cool. So first things first, let's go ahead and go to a bus that's open and available for us to use. We'll go to setup and we'll just name this, let's name this drum skins. Cool. So there is our drum skins bus. Now we want to send some of those drums to it. So we're going to click sends on fader and go over to our drums here. I want some of that kick. We have two kick drums, 52 and a 91. The 52 we have EQ'd to have a little bit more attack. The 91's a bit more round. So I'm going to use a little bit more of the 52 in this mix. We're going to put some snare in there. We put a little bit of under snare. Not much, because our under snare is going to give us a lot of rattle when we start bus compressing. And I don't want a ton of that. I want a little bit of that to give it some saturation, but not a ton. And then we're going to do toms. We're not going to do overheads because we just want the skins. We just want that kick, snare, tom 1, tom 2. So that's our bus mix now. We've got that set up. And what we're going to do is over in routing, we're actually going to go to our XLR outs, and we're going to go to output 2. That's available for us. You can use whatever output you want. And we're going to go select that mix bus that we just set up. So that was mix bus 5 and 6. So mix bus 5, I'm going to do pre-fader. Output 3, we're going to go to mix bus 6, again, pre-fader. And so that's going to send those out XLR 2 and 3. Now, I'll take you guys into our amp room and show you what we're doing in there. All right, so back in our amp room, we are coming out of the physical outputs 2 and 3. So what we're going to do is just take a short XLR, plug that into 2, and we're going to come back in on 19 here. This is AES 50A19 there. And then we're going to do the same thing for channel 20. We're going to come out of 3, just like that. And we're going to go into channel 20. All right, so now that we've got that mix bus coming back into channel 19 and 20, we're gonna come back onto our board and set it up here. So before I do that, I wanna show you kind of our home routing here. If you notice, we have our typical setup is our inputs come from our stage box, AES 51 to 8. This is normally AES 59 to 16. I changed that to local so that I could have a local mic to record this video in. And then inputs 17 through 24 would be on AES50A 17 to 24. And then we're doing inputs 25 to 32 as card 25 to 32, because that's how we are routing our vocals and our pastor's mic through Waves Multirack right now. And then our aux-in remap is actually card 1 to 4. Now, if you watch the last video I made, you know that we're doing that because we have waves processing, reverb, and delay coming back into our aux channels. I have a whole video on that. You guys can go check that out. But right now, the one change we're going to make is we're going to go to input 17 to 24, and we're actually going to change that to card 17 to 24. So we're going to do our processing for AES50A 17 to 24 through Multirack. So let's go to our card out, and you're going to make sure that your card out 17 through 24 is AES50A 17 to 24. So now that we've done that, we can go onto here, onto channel 19 and 20, and we can set up that stereo link. This is already stereo linked for us, but let's go ahead and go into setup. Give this, we use red for our drums, and we can just call this, again, drum skins. Cool. Now that we got that set up, this is going to get the feed from our Multirack. I like to just set trim, you just want to be at 0, and then your preamp for this page, because it's going through the card, is going to be over on setup preamps tab. So we just want to go to that 17 to 24, and you want to make sure that your 19 and 20 are set to 0, because those are coming in mic level on your digital snake, or if you're coming in local, it would be there on local 17 to 24 or wherever you put it. So we just want to make sure that that's 0. It's not adding any gain. Otherwise, it's going to be overdriven. Let's go over to the Waves Multirack and see what we're doing on there. All right, so as you can see, this is our channel right here, and we've got all of our vocals coming in here, 25 through 32. And then I added these afterwards. This was in the last video you saw, we did 1 and 2 as our reverb and delay. And here's what we're doing today. We're gonna do 17 through 24, and we're gonna take that 19 and 20 in as a stereo rack. And I'm using the SSL bus compressor on here. I started out with the Pooch Drum Crush, and I just tweaked it for my settings, my preference that I like. There's so many videos on drum parallel compression. I'm not gonna get into that, so just YouTube that for someone else probably has done a better video than I could do. But basically, just figure out what you want for that parallel compression, and then you're coming back in on 19 and 20 on your M32. All right, so now that we got that all routed, our multi-rack is set up. I'm gonna go ahead and bring some tracks in to show you kind of how it sounds when you have a live drummer on stage. The only delay you're going to get is from an additional ADDA conversion that's happening in your amp room from coming out of a physical output, coming into a physical input. But those delays are very minimal, and you're not gonna notice it in a crushed drum that's being processed in multi-rack. The delay that's coming from multi-rack itself is gonna be more significant anyways. So here's our drums just playing without the parallel compression. And here's how the parallel compression sounds by itself. And here is what it sounds like when we bring in the parallel compression. So there you go. There's our sort of unconventional way to get some parallel compression just using 2 channels on the M32. If you like this video, like it, subscribe, and otherwise we will see you next time, guys. Take care.